So hello everyone, welcome to our Vocations Café, and good morning to those who are watching from Canada, and good afternoon or good evening for all of you who are joining us from Europe. Vocation Café is a beautiful opportunity for us to talk and chat about vocations from many different directions, because in the end, vocation is our answer to God's calling. I had a chance to talk to some of our Oblates, had a chance to talk to the sisters here in Hamilton, Ontario, who are working with the poor. But I'm very happy that today I'm being joined by the Oblate sisters who are in Spain, and they just told me that they woke up from their siesta. So it's a perfect timing to have a cup of coffee and have a little conversation. So can you introduce yourself, like who you are?
Yes. My name is Katharina. I'm missionary Oblate from María Immaculada. I'm from Germany, but I live in Madrid since 15 years. And at the moment, I'm in the community of formation, accompanying the sisters who are studying in the theology.
So where is that community?
Where? It's in the center of Madrid.
Okay, in Madrid itself.
Yes, we have 10 minutes to the cathedral and 10 minutes to the palace. So
Wow.
It's in the center. Yes.
Excellent. And Sister Inma.
I'm Inma. I'm from Spain, in the south of Spain, Málaga. And I live in the community of the pre-novitiate community.
Wonderful. So you both are in like information.
Yes.
So you have to give a good example to everybody, right?
Yes, it's very
it's challenging. Yes, I know that since we have the canonization of Saint Eugene de Mazenot, it seems like everybody was getting know the Oblates and the Oblate charism, who Saint Eugene was, and many people were inspired by his example, by his life, by his mission, and answering many different ways. Some people are like, we have Oblate associates who are lay people embracing the charism of Saint Eugene, committed to the community, Oblate community and ministries. We have as well so-called the Macedonian family, which is very much extended many relationships with the Oblates and Oblate charism. I think in Europe there is as well the Friends of Missions, something like that. But who would thought that we have Oblate sisters? And that's so exciting. Can you tell us like about your congregation, like when that came to life, like how that happened, like who found it, or just tell us a little bit more about it.
The principio, no?
Yes.
Okay. But the canonization of Saint Eugene was in 1995.
That's right.
And for us, it's very important because our congregation started in 1997.
Okay.
And we lived in a young group in the parish with the Oblates. And in one time, in one moment, we have a national meeting with all young people, the parish in all Spain, and in this. Oh, I said my English is not very good. And
it's very good. It's very
I
good.
said sorry, but I try to explain. And in this meeting, some girls have a meet because they thought about the vocation, but no exists the Oblatas,
Okay,
or only Oblates. And in this moment,
that's true.
the Oblates accompanied these girls, and they thought we want to live the charism like a religious women, but no exist. And in this moment, they thought about the start a life community, and pray and ask what does God want about us.
So who actually started it? Like, was there somebody make that call, or like who gathered the sister? Like how the community was formed? When was the decide? Okay, that's how we're gonna start.
It was started by the Spanish Oblates. They joined the 8 girls who said to them that they had like like a feeling, no, like an interest in the Oblate charism. So in 1907 they joined these 8 girls, and they said, okay, you can have like a community experience, and we will see that you can grow up in the Oblate charism, to see how is consecrated life, how what mission you can have. So they started like an experience. So the foundation, it's like a group of founders, to say it like this girl. Yes.
So when would you call like the time, the beginning of the congregation? Like as you know, Saint Eugene de Mazenot founded the Oblates on February 25th and said that this is the beginning, when the Oblates those 5-6 Oblates signed the paper that they are committed. Like when would be beginning of your congregation?
4th, no? 4th of September.
Okay.
1997. And the approval, like a institute or congregation, religious congregation, is in 2001.
Wow, yes. That's wonderful, really. So, like a very young congregation, full of life and full of mission. So, how many sisters are right now in congregation?
Now we are 21 sisters.
Wow, that's wonderful. And are you all in Spain?
No.
Oh, that's nice. Are you in Canada?
No.
We want to go, yes.
Not yet. I hope so.
Now we have
7 nationalities.
Yeah, we have 7 nationalities, and now we have 4 communities in Spain and 1 community in Germany, close to an Oblate college. That the Oblates have, they are like college, so they are working with the Oblate sisters also.
Okay, I hope there's many young women are watching who would like to be Oblatas now. So be ready, because your formation houses will be full pretty soon. And I noticed we have guests who are joining our conversations as well from Europe, and here is even from Ireland.
Okay.
Eduardo.
Hello, Eduardo.
Say hello to. It's all in Europe. They know everybody.
Okay.
Tell me, like, vocation is usually, well, it's not usually. It's an answer to a call. Like you, at some point, you hear that call from God that you are being called to the mission, to a particular charism, to a certain community, as we are with the Oblates. Can you share with us your personal vocation story? Like, how did you discover your vocation? Like, when did you hear that? How did you heard about the Oblatas? Like, how did it happen?
Okay, I will start.
Okay.
I would say that my call, it was more like a process, no, not one moment, concrete moment that I said, okay, now God is calling. I think everybody has to see his own story to see a little bit how God does this process, no, and the work in every person. So in my case, it's my parents, they were in Africa like missionaries, so and my education was a lot, well, it was formed, no, by this experience of my parents.
Were you with them in Africa as well?
In South Africa.
So did you go them with them, or they were just?
No, I wasn't born.
Okay, okay, that makes sense now.
Yes, I was conceived, but but yes, when they came back, I was born in little village. So, but my parents, they wanted to have like a connection with missionaries. So in our village, they are the Oblates. And all my life, from 2 years or yes, when I was born, I was in contact with the Oblates. So I think this is one step in my life and one sign of God. I think that yes, that forms me a lot, because for me, the Oblates and all the life, they were like very close, and they lived with me when I was a child, when I was a teenager, when I was a little bit older student. So in every etap, I had like an influence of the Oblates, no? And when I get like 17 years, I think, no, for me, it was a little bit more serious to ask, you know, what I want to do with my life. What I want to study, how is my plan also, if family or something else. I said that I never thought about being nun for me, because in Germany there's not a great reality of consecrated life, or it's very old. So for me it wasn't attractive, no. But for me there were two things very connected. One thing is that I was very interested in medicine. So for me, it was like a need to help suffering people, no, to go to the poverty, to go to ill people. This is one part, and the other part was to experience the Oblates like my family, no, like a community who which gave me a sense of life, the joy of the faith. So it was like two realities, and I was thinking about what I have to do with this, no. And then then yes, there was like a little more concrete call. It was in Canada, in the World Youth Day in Toronto.
I was there too.
Yeah.
Yes. Look at this. We wouldn't even know that.
Yes, and it was for me because I saw the Oblates accompanying the teenagers or our group, and I knew that a lot of people of my group, they had like suffering, so they were sad, or they wanted to know about life, and I saw, for me, is what it was contemplating the Oblates and to see them accompanying this process, no. So in this moment, it was like a connection that I said, okay, I think for me, I like a call of God, not to say, I want you to do this also, no, or yes. And it wasn't very concrete that I had to be a missionary oblate, but for me, this was like the starting point, no, to discern. So I had like a spiritual director, no, from the Oblates, and I talked to him, and he said, okay, I know some Spanish girls in Madrid. They started 5 years ago to have this community experience. And if you want, you can go there to have also like 3 months or something like this to live with them. So I went there, and I felt like at home. So afterwards, it was a little process to do. Okay, I started to study medicine in Germany, but then yes, I came to Spain in 2005.
Okay, so that will be like 15 years now.
Yes.
Wow.
15 years. Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing, actually, to hear how the vocation is being discovered, and it's like a journey, as you said. Like some people will have like an awakening moment that they just know, and but most of the time it seems like it is a journey that you're asking questions, that you have conversation, that you experience the mission, and at some point you just go and feel, as you said, like feel at home, that this is what God is calling me to do. That's amazing. Did you have a trouble to learn language? Because now we speak English. You came from Germany. You have to speak Spanish, obviously.
Yeah. I still have a little bit trouble now.
You're very excellent. And Sister Inma, how did you find your vocation?
Oh, my vocation is very funny.
That's gonna be interesting.
I was in the Paris always with my family in Oblate's parish of Oblate, and when I was a child, I loved mission, and always I thought I want to go to the mission, and the program TV about mission, and always with I had the very open my eyes to see the mission, but never I thought about religious. But when I thought I want to go to the mission, but I want to study something to help people in the mission. And I studied nurse. And when in the second course, I talk about the mission with the Oblate. And they asked me, but okay, you want to go to the mission, but how? Like religious, like marriage, how? But I answered, for me it's the same, and never mind. No, but in this moment I thought about that, and I felt God tell me something, but I don't understand in this moment. When I went to the university, before I pray in the church in the parish, and always ask to God, how do you want? I want to follow you in the mission, but how? No. And in the Paris, there were a boy, and it's perfect for me.
And you want to get married?
I thought God wants that I have a Christian family and go to the mission like a family. And I thought that to the Oblate, but the Oblate see me, I don't know, because he knows that God called me, but I don't understand anything. But step by step, I felt God want that I live for him, and my life is for the people. No? And in this moment, I understand, and I thought about the vocation, religious vocation, contemplation, but for me, the Oblate's charism is in my blood.
That's the way to say it.
Work in the Paris with children, in the catechism, in the summer camp, in different moments, and I felt my life is for them and for God. No? And I knew I knew the Oblates, the Oblatas, before it started to be Oblatas.
Okay.
Because we were the young people in different parish in Spain, and I knew them in the parish, like young people, no? And I knew in Madrid when they started, and I came here in 2001.
Okay. Wow, that's an interesting story. And certainly, like I love, as you said, that the oblate charism is in your blood. I think that's what the charism actually is. When we have it in the blood, we can put forward our life, our mission, and truly to embrace it. Tell me how your families reacted to it, like, because it's a big commitment, and especially like parents, they want to have grandchildren, they want to have families. Like, how your families react, your parents, or how reacted to your decision?
For my family, it was very difficult because the family situation is not very good. No, but I knew it was this moment I have to live. For me, it was like Abraham when God, ¿cómo se dice? With Isaac, no? It's very similar. And for my family, it's more or less that, because my mother, when I said to her, mother, I want to be Oblata, but my mother said, with girls, because it was the beginning. Yes. But my mother said, I know, I knew that. I don't say any, como que mi madre lo sabía, pero no quería que pasase.
Her mother knew it, but and she didn't want that to pass it. Yes.
My mother knew that I have a vocation, but she didn't like this moment when I said that.
Okay.
But now it's all okay.
Yeah, finally accepted. Well, that's the vocation, and vocation brings many different challenges as well. So, and Katharina, how did you see your family? How they reacted?
For my family is very Christian, and like I said, as I said in the beginning, all my family has like a connection with the Oblates. So it is something familiar when in common for them. No? Yeah. I think for my father it was very hard because I only were 20 years old, and I interrupted I said that I will stop with medicine because I have to go to be oblate before, and then I will see. No, so for them the hardest thing was that I was so young, and that I went to a congregation who is just starting. There were like poor structures, and yes, things that it wasn't very clear. Many things. It wasn't like a big congregation that everybody knows. Okay, she will go there and everything. And also because it was Spain, because I had to change the country and everything. So this was harder than the consecrate the religious life to see it like this, no? And now, after 15 years, I see, for example, for my mother, it was also like to start a process like lay associated lay people, or she is like associated to the Oblate family. And she is also doing a lot of things for the Oblates, to go to mission, to have like groups, Oblate groups. And I think it's like, because my step questioned a lot of the things she lived in her life. So for me, it's a grace. It's like something graceful, yes.
Well, certainly it always will be a challenge, but when you answer the call, you have that, as you said earlier, I love that expression that oblate the charism in your blood, like it's like a living it, even though it's challenging. But when you truly answer the call, you find the joy in vocation, actually. I see the question here from, I assume this is from our provincial superior who is watching us, and very happy to participate in the conversation here. And he has a question for you, like, what does a day in your life looks like? Like, describe ordinary day in your life right now. Of course, not forgetting the siesta in the afternoon, but how does it look like?
The most important thing. Okay, we are waking up. For us, it's important, the community prayer. So we are waking up in the morning, and we have, in our community, we have loudest? No, loud.
Like a morning prayers. Yeah.
Yes, and at 7:15, and then we
Oh,
have
goodness,
also,
that's early.
yes. And also the community prayer afterwards. So we have like one hour of prayer, everybody together. And then in our community, as I said, that they are 2 students, so they are going to the university if coronavirus permits.
Oh, yes.
We will see. And the other 3 sisters, we are working. So we are going to our several works in the morning.
So what would that be? Like, where do you work? Or what kind of work?
One of my sisters, she is a teacher in a college, so a religious teacher, so she's going there. The other, she is collaborating with the diocese in questions of saints, all the saints courses.
Okay.
And I'm working as a doctor in a health center. It's close to Madrid in a village. Okay, and afterwards, so we are meeting to have lunch together. And in the evening, it depends.
And the siesta between that. So
after lunch, we have the siesta. I forgot. And afterwards, it depends a little bit. Sometimes we have pastoral tasks in the parish. We are going to the parish, or we are working this year. We work a lot. We will work a lot in Caritas because here it's a lot of poverty now because of the pandemic. Or we are studying, or we have also encounters or meetings in the community. So formation, or we have sharing the faith, or sharing our life, or something. Sometimes all subjects, actual subjects about the life, or something like this. And then in the evening we pray again with Vesper. Sometime one day in week we have also the mass in community in our flat. Normally we go to the parish, but one day we have together, and we share also the word of God. And then we have dinner, and we go to bed.
That's wonderful. And dinner, sisters told me a little bit earlier before we went live that their dinner is like 9 o'clock in the evening. So know how you can sleep there after. So it seems like a very busy day, really, and you're truly present, like in the life of the people, like with your work, with the ministry that you have. It's amazing to be close to the people. That's one of the mottos that the Oblates have, like always close to the people, and you certainly are there, very close to the people. Tell me, like from your life, like from the experience that you have with the Oblatas and living it for so many years, like what would be the biggest joy that you find in the religious life as the Oblatas? Like what is the biggest joy that you have?
The biggest joy to be very close to God and to people, because for me I feel very happy when when people meet with God in their life, in concrete life, and for me it's the most important thing, that people feel God like a savior in their concrete life.
That's the core of Oblate charism. Like Saint Eugene said, that we are being called to be cooperators of Christ and Redeemer, and bringing him closer to. So that's the core of Oblate vocation. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Katharina, what would you have your biggest joy? Giving the needles to the sick, like.
Yes, of course. No, but for me, I think for me to be medicine, for me it's a big experience to meet God and the people who suffer. So for me, it's like the greatest joy is really to discover God in these situations, no, and in this way, also have like a real encounter with the people, no, and with what they need, what they are searching for, to see they wish, no, they desire to find sense in the life, to find hope. So there's for me that I can also discover God, and this is, I think, in the daily life for me, it's the greatest joy, the greatest happiness. Yes.
Walking close to the people. That's one thing. Like I remember conversation when I was asked to do the ministry as the vocation director here for the province. Like the one request that I had, I just don't want to leave the parish, because that's when you have that experience, like walking with the people and having their experiences, when you witness sometimes brokenness and challenges that they go through, but you can be close to them and leading them to God. So it's truly a joy, but at the same time, religious life and the oblate life can bring challenges. Like what do you find the most challenging or difficult in the religious life? Where do we start here?
Yes.
Is because in Spain the religious situation is very difficult, because people don't believe in God, and it's like France in the time of Saint Eugene.
There we go.
And it's very difficult to because people don't understand our life. But when they know more about us, for them it's very interesting, because the church is a thing very far, no? But you are different, no? The people say, you are different. No, I'm a church, no? But people need to do a way to have a religious experience or hear God, but in Spain it's very difficult, because people don't like the church.
Yeah, I think it's very common everywhere, and it is a challenge. Like I love, as you said, that it causes people to ask the question, like, and I think that's what our life, our oblation is all about, to give the witness that people will ask, well, you are different, and where the difference come from. Like I remember a number of times talking to the young people when they discover God or return to church or return to their faith. It's quite often happens when we have like big gatherings of young people, and they watch their friends, and they ask themselves, well, I want what you have. Like your relationship with God is so curious or interesting, and I want what you have. And I think that's causing the question, as being the witness to the world. That the world might be challenging, might don't understand our way of life, but certainly we are called to witness to it. And Katharina, what do you find the most challenging?
I think what you said, for me, it's to be close to the people and to be with the people, but not to be like the people. No, I think that you can remain with a vision of faith in difficult situation. That you aren't going with the vision of the world. No, that you are. It's important to have like that you can give another vision. No, you can give the vision of the faith to hope, and also yes to give another criterion. No, I don't know how
like
to
option
say.
Or
Options. Yeah. Yes, so to be close, but to give the witness of another thing of a different world, not the world of Christ. For me, it's like this.
That's amazing.
I want to say other challenges because I work in a school with young people, and the most challenging is the formation for young people.
Yes, it will be
feeling like a human, Christian, and saint.
That's what it is. It's right in the heart of the Oblate charism.
Yes.
So it's great getting to know you and your vocation story. And just imagine, like the one more thing I want to ask you, if maybe there are some young people watching this video here, joining us at the Vocation Café, or will be watching later on, and they think, well, maybe this is something that I might consider. Maybe they feel the being called. Like, how would you encourage them? What would you tell them? What to do if they hear that stirring in their heart?
They don't have to be afraid. It's an amazing thing to follow Christ. It's the best thing. I think it isn't the promise of not suffering or something like this, but it's the promise of sense and of to be full, no, yes, and you don't have to be afraid about it, no.
So have the courage. That's a great advice, and I think it's always a challenge.
And in this way, they're not alone.
They aren't alone.
And I think that's very important. Like I always was shocked and surprised. We have here in North America, it's called Steubenville conferences. So it's like for high school students in different places, and it didn't happen this year. It happened online, but in Toronto, we meet with the high school students, and there's like a few thousand young people. And in the end of the weekend, in the end of the mass, closing mass, they're always asked for young people, like young women from the students, like, if you hear a vocation, doesn't mean that you are signing up for the particular congregation, but if you feel being called, that God is calling you to something, just come forward. And I'm always shocked that it seems like we are in crisis of vocations, but there's like tens and hundreds of young people coming forward because they're thinking about it. There's something that's stirring in their hearts. So I think it's important for us to continue prayer for vocations and not to give up, because the vocations are there. God is calling us all the time. We just cannot give up on that. Well, Inma and Katha, thank you very much for joining me today. It was wonderful to chat with you. I guess you're not going to bed yet because you have to go to prayer and have your supper at 9 o'clock. But certainly we'll be in touch, and there's the beautiful connection that is here happening on social media and everywhere, so we can see what's happening in our places and follow up. And I wish you well, and I hope you will open your doors now to a new vocation. So be prepared, because there will be lots of women lining up for you. And thank you very much for joining us and for sharing your story. And we'll be in touch. And I invite all of you. There will be another Vocation Cafe coming up pretty soon. So stay tuned, and God bless you. And have a wonderful evening and afternoon if you are here. God bless.
Thank you for invitation and sharing with us.
And it was truly a joy. God bless.